I was talking to this young brother today on my job, and I was telling him about how the court system is set up. Like the judge, right, is defined as the, okay, let me see. I gotta look this up here. A judge, right? Oh, shit. Okay, a judge is defined is defined as an official with the authority and responsibility to preside in a court, try lawsuits, and make legal rulings. Judges are almost always attorneys. In some states, judges of the peace may need only pass a test. And in federal and state, administrative law judges are often lawyers or non-lawyers, hearing officers specializing in the subject matter upon which they are asked to rule. 2, the word court often refers to the judge. So see, when I had sued the court, I sued the judge. See, the judge told my family and friends who came to court with me that the court, that the litigants wasn't there. But I was telling my family and friend the judge is there. See, according to the law, the judge is the court. So if you suing the court, you actually suing the judge that presided over your case. So I sued the judge for violating the judge's canons, as well as for violating my constitutional rights. See, that's why I charged the judge with obstruction of justice. See, okay, so now it says the word court often refers to the judge, and to make a legal conclusion, as in to be as in by the court judge. The judge judged the defense of self-defense, right? So now, when I went into court, what I was explaining to the young brother is that the bailiff is a sheriff. See, now let's go to the definition of bailiff. Okay, a bailiff, the first definition is a court official, usually a peace officer, see, or a deputy sheriff, who keeps order in the courtroom and handles errands, for which is defined as a short trip taken to attend to some business, often for the judge and clerk. 2, in some jurisdictions, a person appointed by the court to handle the affairs of an incompetent, for which is defined as not legally qualified, as lacking capacity, as because of age or mental deficiencies, a person, or to be a keeper of goods and or money pending further order of the court. So see, now when you get arrested by a sheriff or a police officer, right, that is a conflict of interest, because the police officer is an official of the government. See what I'm saying? So you really have no advocate, because once you are arrested, then they say the state that you were arrested in is now against you. So now, if they give you a lawyer, now let me show you that this is the conflict of interest. This is what a conflict of interest is. The legal definition is number 1, a real or apparent conflict, for which is defined as mental struggle resulting from incompatible, for which is defined as incapable of association or harmonious coexistence, or opposing needs, drives, wishes, or external or internal demands between one professional or officer's duty, or official duties and one's private interest. So see, if justice is what a politician uses, right, in order to run for office, they say they tough on crime, okay? So now, if the politician is tough on crime, and the politician and the judge is officials of the government, then you as a citizen is property of these officials. See, that's why it's a conflict of interest, because you have no lawyer. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, because you are a taxpaying American citizen. Now, this is what's called okay, now 2 is in the conflict of interest, is a situation where one duty conflicts with another. For example, if an attorney were to represent both parties in a proceeding. So if you have a public defender and you have a prosecuting attorney, then those are all government paid officials. So how is that not for example, a lawyer, an attorney were to represent both parties? Well, the government has the prosecuting attorney who prosecuting you, and then the government gives you a public defender that the government is paying. There go the there is the conflict of interest, because the sheriff, who is the bailiff, is the one who arresting you. Then they got a bailiff in the courtroom intimidating you, and then you got a judge that works for the government. So where is your private interest being protected when the judge will run for political office and use whatever rulings the judge made as their record of being tough on crime? So see, it's to their benefit to then seek convictions, not trying to find out who guilty and who innocent. They just want convictions. See what I'm saying? So what about if you're a good judge of character or not? See, it doesn't matter when you got a public pretender that says it's a public defender. Now look at here. Now this is called a conflict of law, right? A conflict of law is legally defined as a conflict of the laws of 2 jurisdictions, such as 2 countries, 2 different states, or state and federal laws. So now, see, when I was in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida, and then I went into the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida, see, that's a conflict of laws. See what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying, like, okay, so then it says, okay, this is a conflict of law. A conflict of laws of 2 jurisdictions, such as 2 countries, 2 different states, or state and federal law, when both are applicable, for which is defined as capable of or suitable for being applied to a legal dispute. See what I'm saying? So that's why I was able to use the Florida Constitution, the United States Constitution, the Florida Bill of Rights, the United States Bill of Rights, the United States Declaration of Independence, statutory law, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And they was then using the law as well. See, and that's a conflict of laws, because I as a citizen have laws that protects me and govern me. But the judges have canons that protects me. See what I'm saying? And so the judge, if the judge violate the judge's canons, the judge chooses a side. There go, you can charge the judge with conflict of interest. Right there, you win the case, because once you find that the judge and your arresting officer has ties, then right there, you can't get a fair trial when the judge and your arresting officer might have been a bailiff. See, the arresting officer may have been a bailiff for the judge. So, see, they have personal interest in this case, because the judge gets a promotion when they run for office, and the sheriff get favor from the judge. Now, what do you get? Okay, now, okay, check this. Now, this is preemption, right? This is a legal term. It's defined as the principle for which is legally defined as, in commercial law, the total amount of a loan, not including any capitalized fees or interest. 2, when creating a power of attorney or other legal documents, the person who appoints an attorney in fact or agent to act on his or her behalf. 3, in the law of trust, the property of the trust as opposed to the income generated by that property. The principle is also known as the trust corpus. That's Latin for body. In criminal law, the main perpetrator of a crime, that is the principal, right? So now you would be the principal in this case. See, just like they tried to make me the principal, but then I flipped it on them and charged them with a conflict of interest because the bailiff is a deputy sheriff and the deputy sheriff threatened to kill me. And then the judge sided with the deputy sheriff, who is the bailiff in the courts. See what I'm saying? So do you not see the conflict of interest that the bailiff and the judge work with each other? Now look, this is called the laws of the land. The legal definition of laws of the land is the body of rules, regulations, and laws that govern a country or jurisdiction. The United States Constitution declares itself the supreme law of the land. See, so by when I had cited the United States Constitution, I had invoked the supreme law of the land by the laws of the land. See, okay, now, then this is law of the case. Now, this is legally defined as once the judges have decided a legal question during the conduct of a lawsuit, they are unlikely to change their views and will respond that the rule is the law of the case. Now, see, that's why you must file a conflict of interest when you find the interest is conflicting with your private interest. You must state that in writing as a conflict of interest. See, that's what I did. That's when I had used the intake, criminal intake for the Florida Rules of Court to then give my information to the Attorney General. Now, what I'm going to show you is, now the Attorney General, right, is defined as, okay, let me see here. I got to get, okay, the public defender is a lawyer appointed by the court and paid by the county, state, or federal government to represent clients for whom are defined as one that is under the protection of another who are charged with violations of criminal law and are unable to pay for their own defense. Now, but if I am a tax-paying American citizen, how can I not pay for my defense if I am paying for the DA to then prosecute me as an offender? So why are you using my tax dollars to then prosecute me, but you're not using my tax dollars to give me an adequate defense? See, you see what I'm saying? Because you're saying that I do not have money, so therefore the public defender is not funded like the prosecuting attorney or the district attorney office is. Now look, the district attorney is defined as a lawyer who is elected or chosen by a local government officials to represent the state government. See, that's not representing you. See, the public defender is supposed to represent you, but you don't have no money. But look at what the state now, look how the state, this is why you must get involved. Okay, officials to represent the state government in criminal cases brought in designated counties. Now, what criminal offenses against the government? What you talking about? You're saying that if I steal from Walmart, then the DA prosecute me. So that ain't the government. That's Walmart. Walmart should have to then prosecute me. Why? They got all this money. Why do you use my a district attorney to then prosecute me, but then you say that you give me a public defender to defend me? So how that's not a conflict of interest? Then you got the sheriff as the bailiff. How that's not a conflict of interest when everybody who arrested me is then the government? But now they say that I'm a threat to the government. I'm saying the government is a threat to the citizens, because it protects itself with your tax dollars. Now look, it says a DA duties typically include reviewing police arrest reports, deciding whether to bring criminal charges against arrested people, and prosecuting criminal cases in court. The DA may also supervise other attorneys called deputy district attorneys or assistant district attorneys. In some states, A district attorney may be called a prosecuting attorney, county attorney, or state attorney. In the federal system, the equivalent to the DA, which is a district attorney, is a United States attorney. See, that's why when the state attorney for the state of Florida violated my constitutional rights, that's why I then went to the district attorney, the United States attorney, for whom has jurisdiction over all state attorneys, because they are the federal attorneys, right? But they then denied me of my United States constitutional rights. Therefore, I hit them with a conflict of interest. Okay, now, and it says the DA in the country, has many U.S. attorneys, each appointed by the president. See, that's why I sued President Donald John Trump in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida, when I had gave him evidence of the violation of the Constitution in the federal court, in the civil courthouse and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida on August 12, 2008 at 10:40 in the morning. So this is what I'm saying. If you do not know the conflict of interest, then you will be caught up in the conflict.